Thanks for joining us again. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to complain, to let you know that I don't like waiting. I have a hard time with waiting for things. I wouldn't say I'm impatient. I would just say I don't like to wait. And one of the worst things of my life is when people want to take me to Cedar Point. Because the other thing I don't like is roller coasters. So it is this perfect storm of things I don't like: waiting and roller coasters. And so when I get to Cedar Point and I see this little clock and it says, hey, 2 hours until you're at the front of this line, that sounds like an absolute nightmare, to just stand there, to wait in line, to do something I don't want to do. Throughout the book of James, we're called to wait and to wait patiently. And so maybe Cedar Point's not for you, but there are so many different things in life where we just find ourselves waiting. Maybe you're waiting on a specific answer, you're waiting on some results, maybe you're waiting for construction to finish or for that road construction to get out of your way, but we are called to wait patiently. When we read in James to be patient, it's pretty honest about what it says. In fact, 3 times we're called to be patient while we're waiting. And the illustration that was given was this farmer waiting for its precious fruit. And you could imagine that if you're a farmer and there was no waiting, the amount of crops that you would have and the amount of just stuff everywhere. But in that farming season, there is a period of waiting where you do your job, you do what you're responsible, you plant the seed, and then you wait. You water, and then you wait. You take care of it, and then you wait. And so this reminder in James is using a common illustration of this farming life, of that we have a responsibility that we have to do while we're waiting. It's not just this idle waiting, but it's this active waiting. And so what it says in James chapter 5, verse 7, it says, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and late rains. You also be patient, establish your hearts." And so we are called that while we're waiting, that we should be establishing our hearts, working in our lives to make sure that we are ready for the coming of the Lord. That we are not just waiting and just sitting by doing nothing, but there's an active wait, that we are serving those around us, that we are encouraging those around us, that we are called to live a life that is active in serving and not just waiting idly. In James chapter 5, it gives a very specific warning about not wasting your life, not wasting your resources, not wasting the things that you have been given. It gives specific examples about someone who has and how they defrauded someone out of their payments that they were owed to them. And I think it's a great reminder for us to not just look at this as a story, but that this is a life application moment, to not waste your life. I know that life gets hard, life gets confusing and challenging and unknown. But James asked us to be patient in our suffering, to be patient in the unknown, and to cling to God's word and to cry out to God in prayer, that it's not just this idle waiting, but it's this active waiting where you are drawing even closer to God. What a great reminder to not waste our life, but to live a life that is fully devoted to God and following after Him. Thanks for joining us as we study through the book of James.